But what's the problem? The problem is complicated because in the Arab world, and I would like Mr. Khan can elaborate on this, because when you are in an Arab country and you see Al Jazeera or any network, you see all the crimes they are suffering. They feel they are victims. And when you talk, when I was traveling around the Arab world, and they are very nice and very helpful, but they say, Prosecutor, we cannot talk openly because what's happening in Iraq? What's happening in Lebanon? How can I talk about Darfur without explaining what's happening in Iraq, what's happening in Lebanon? Of course, I have legal answers. I said, look, Iraq is not my case because I have no jurisdiction. Lebanon is not my case, I have no jurisdiction, but Lebanon can give me the case joining the ICC. So I have a legal answer, but who cares? And the African countries. Of course, there are some leaders in Africa who are worried about us because they have something to hide. But also there are many African leaders who are supporting us, and it's complicated. First, of course, the colonial times are affecting them, not just the colonial times. In Congo, Mobutu was supported. So there's not just the colonial time. The last decades, the Cold War was very hot for Africa. So just to give you an idea what is Africa, 2 years ago, in the African Union meeting in Gambia, were 2 presidents outside of the region invited to the meeting. You know who were there? Who were them? One, yes, Chavez, Venezuelan president. The other one, Prime Minister of Iran. So this is the feeling. This is the feeling in Africa, okay? And it's pretty similar to in South America, I would say. In South America, they rejected Canadian support because they say, no, you're North America. And it's complicated because, of course, regional countries the region is very important to achieve solution in this case. In fact, South America countries helped this year Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador to downgrade the conflict between them. Of course, so we need African countries, we need Arab countries. But these are difficult situations for them. What's happened with the Western countries? Because European countries are fully supporting the ICC. And that is one of the driving forces. But of course, they have a strong commitment. European countries are not committing genocide, not committing crimes against humanity, and they are very careful not to commit war crimes now. When you see how they are behaving in Afghanistan in particular, they are really caring about this. And that's very good. But the problem is the treaty requires them to do more. It's not just behave well in their own country. When the court acts, they have to support the court. And that's the tension that Mark Mallow-Brown is explaining to you. And I feel probably it's not my job to convince the Arab countries or the African countries to do better. I think it's their job. I'm sorry to say that, Mark Mallow-Brown, but I think it's your job to do political efforts to support the court. It's not my job. I am prosecutor. I'm presenting facts and legal issues in court. I need political parties explaining and discussing. And of course, some leaders in Africa are abusing of their colonial times, but there are many. I was in Senegal. President Wade publicly say, I'm sorry, I'm a friend of Bashir, but he cannot come here if he is indicted. And Tanzanian president says similar to him. So it's not true that Africa is consolidated behind him, not at all. But of course they are trying to find, if you have a problem with, if you have a conflict with Canada or Mexico, you will be very diplomatic to deal with them. So they are your neighbors, so you have to be careful with them. And that's the problem for African and Arab countries. So to summarize, my third point is about there are 2.5 million people who could die. And that's my work, to investigate, to end impunity, to contribute to the prevention of future crimes. And there are 2.5 million people that could die. And they are dying, and they are raped each day. That's the first problem. And then what we can do. Second issue is, okay, what we can do. Now we have the law. And to confirm something, I don't think you need specific leaders. I think what is new is we have this law. And in June, I saw Costa Rica moving the world. In June, in my last briefing to the Security Council, the Foreign Affairs Minister of Costa Rica was in the Security Council, and he took the floor, and he proposed a presidential statement supporting the ICC work in Darfur. And of course, Europe supported, because Europe has to commit with the law. And then Panama is also members of it. And South Africa also supported in June, okay? In June, 2 months ago. South Africa agreed to commit and request the Sudan to cooperate with the court and arrest Harun. China, Libya opposed. They said no way. And that's interesting for me because Costa Rica with no army, and of course, tiny country, insisted. And they say, China, Libya, if you are not accepting my presidential statement that requires consensus, and I cannot reach the consensus, I will request a Security Council resolution who requests 9 votes. I have 10, so I will win. The outcome, China, Libya signed it on June that the Sudan has to cooperate with the ICC and has to arrest Harun and Ali Kushib. So the point is, to have leadership in these countries, we need everyone respecting the law. And that's a problem, in particular because I am New York, you have to know. When we talk about universal values, it's difficult to have an agreement. Look, my court. My court is committed to stop genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crime. That's it. It's not about the gender equality or no discrimination or free press. It's basic. And you know, we have just 107 countries with us. Some big countries, including this country, is not member. They are against this idea. So sharing values in the global community is difficult. At the same time, ICC, in particular in the Darfur case, connected with the Security Council, is a test for our ability to build a global institution, a 21st century institution. Thank you so much.